We're glad you all are here today. We'll go ahead and get started. As a reminder, or if you're new today, make sure that you're doing everything that you're comfortable with. So if you feel uncomfortable in standing, make sure that you give yourself support or something to hold on to, or you can do everything in seated today. And make sure that everything's done in a pain-free range. So if you're having shoulder pain with an exercise, don't go to the point of pain, but do as much as you can before you have pain. So we'll get started on sitting at the edge of your chair here. Let's start with some of those diaphragm breaths. So we practiced this last week where I had my hand on my belly so that as I breathe in, my belly is pushing out. And then as I breathe out, my belly comes down. This is activating our bigger breathing muscle, our diaphragm, to help us get in more air. So let's practice 10 breaths like that. As you breathe in, your stomach is going to raise out. And then as you breathe out, your stomach will come down. Make sure your posture is tall, your shoulders are back. Breathe in. And breathe out. Think about pushing your stomach into your hand. As you inhale and then exhale, your belly will lower. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Pushing that belly out. With a big breath in. And exhale, your belly will relax. Inhale, push into your hands. Exhale. 3 more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Last 2 breaths, really push into your hands. And last one, breathe in. And breathe out. Good. We're going to start with a power up. So coming down, leaning forward, and stretch your arms back. Let's hold this position for 10 seconds. Arms wide, fingertips wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now let's do 10 repetitions of that. We won't hold it, but I want you to stretch back that far each time. So coming down, 1, down, 2, down, 3, down, 4, down, 5, down, 6, down, 7, down, 8, down, 9, down, 10. All right, moving into a power rock, we're going to stretch and hold it. So leaning one arm down onto your knee, stretch your other arm up and over and straighten out that same leg. So fingers wide, look up at your hand. We're going to stretch and hold this here for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come back up to the middle and we'll do the same thing to the other side. Stretch and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, now we're going to repeat that 10 times, trying to stretch that far with each repetition, but we won't hold it this time. 1, reset. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So with the next power twist, we're going to turn and clap, and I want you to think about your front hand pushing your back hand further away from the camera. So I'm using my front hand to drive that twist, and we're going to hold here and stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's open and we'll twist to the other side. So I'm going to use my front hand to push my hands further away from the camera, stretching through my trunk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to do 10 power twists side to side. Really think about twisting far each time. 1, open, 2, open, 3, open, 4, open, 5, open, 6, open, 7, open, 8, open, 9, open, and 10. Nice job. Last, we have our power step. So this is taking an exaggerated step out and then step back in. So why don't we take that step with your leg out to the side and lean forward so that you can feel a stretch on your inner thigh or groin. Let's hold it here for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And if you didn't feel much of a stretch, I'm feeling it on this. We're stretching the leg that you step out to the side. You can make it stronger by straightening that leg out and then leaning forward. But if you feel it enough just leaning forward onto it, then keep it as is. But we'll stretch to the other side, either with your leg straight or your leg bent. Lean forward onto that leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And so now we're going to do our power step. So using that stretch, now that we have a little bit more mobility, to step a little bit further. So think about an exaggerated step as we step out to the side. So that'll be 1, come back in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right, we're gonna do a couple boxing series now. So the first, or let's review some of the punches. So the 3 basic power moves that we'll use are a jab, which is punching straight forward, across, punching across your body, and an uppercut, coming straight underneath. So I'm gonna have you use your left hand, right hand, left hand to lead this. The sequence I want you to punch is a jab, uppercut, uppercut. So I'm alternating what hand I start with, or what hand I'm doing those punches between. So I want to repeat that 5 times, and then we'll switch and lead with the other hand first. So I'm starting with my right hand. I think it'll look like look to the left, look like the left from the screen. We're doing a jab, uppercut, uppercut. Repeat that same thing. Jab, uppercut, uppercut. Jab, uppercut, uppercut. Jab, uppercut, uppercut. One more. Jab, uppercut, uppercut. Now let's lead with the other hand first. Jab, uppercut, uppercut, jab, uppercut, uppercut. 3 more. Jab, uppercut, uppercut, jab, uppercut, uppercut. Last one. Jab, uppercut, uppercut. Good. The next pattern I'm going to have us do is a cross, uppercut, jab, jab. So we'll stick to this, leading with the same hand first, and then we'll switch like we did last time. Cross, uppercut, jab, jab. Keep following that pattern. Cross, uppercut, jab, jab. Cross, uppercut, jab, jab. Cross, uppercut, jab, jab. Do two more. Cross, uppercut, jab, jab. Cross, uppercut, jab, jab. Same pattern. Let's lead with your other hand now. Cross, uppercut, jab, jab. Cross, uppercut, jab, jab. Cross, uppercut, jab, jab. Two more. Cross, uppercut, jab, jab. Cross, uppercut, jab, jab. Good. So this one we're going to do is an uppercut, cross, uppercut, cross. All right. So we'll do the same thing, leading with the same hand, and then I'll tell you when we'll switch. Uppercut, cross, uppercut, cross. Uppercut, cross, uppercut, cross. Do one more. Uppercut, cross, uppercut, cross. So now leading with the other hand first. Uppercut, cross, uppercut, cross, uppercut, cross, uppercut, cross. One more. Uppercut, cross, uppercut, cross. So with the pattern, it's basically two of each. I'm going to have us alternate what hand I lead with. So you can follow along with me or you can watch for this first time. So it's an uppercut, cross, cross. And now I'm going to switch to my other hand. Uppercut, cross, uppercut, cross. So two on each side and then switch what hand leads. We'll repeat that 6 times. So uppercut, cross, switch hands, uppercut, cross, switch, uppercut, cross, switch, uppercut, cross, switch, uppercut, cross. This is our last one. Uppercut, cross. Good. So I want to do that same idea with our next pattern, where we'll do one pattern leading with one hand, and then after you finish that pattern, we're going to switch and lead with the other hand. So alternating back and forth. The pattern is going to be a jab, uppercut, jab, cross. So after I lead once on this side, I'm going to switch hands, jab, uppercut, jab, cross. And then I'm going back to leading with my right hand. So after that pattern, we're going to flip flop. What hand is leading? We'll repeat this 6 times like we did the last one. So jab, uppercut, jab, cross, switch, jab, uppercut, jab, cross, jab, uppercut, jab, cross, jab, uppercut, jab, cross, jab, uppercut, jab, cross, and last time, jab, uppercut, jab, cross. Nice job. Hopefully our brains are warmed up a little bit too. We are going to get going with some of our intervals. This first one is in standing. I'm going to use my weights for this. I'm just going to demo these first, so you don't have to join me quite yet. I'm going to do backward stepping with a coordinated cross-body punch. So if I step back, and I'm going to use my opposite arm and leg. If I step back with my left side first, I'm going to punch. And then as I step back with my other foot, I'm going to punch. So cross-body punches, you're walking backwards. You can also, so I was doing a reciprocal step where each time my foot was passing the other step, but you could do is bring your feet together each time. So after I step, I can bring my feet together before I step on the other side. That will be easier to coordinate the pattern. And then once you have the pattern down, you could doing a normal step length in between. So that is our first move. I want you to coordinate as you step backwards, add a punch. And that's our cross punch. I'm doing it with my opposite leg, but you really just want to coordinate it with one of your steps. The next one we're going to do is a sit to stand with the power up. So I'm going to do a sit to stand, and then I'm going to use big steps to walk around my chair while I'm facing forward. And then next time I'm going to go the other way. Sit to stand with the power up and use big steps to walk all the way around my chair. If you find that you are getting frozen or stuck with that, stop and reset and then try to keep going. So we're trying to see if we can help some people work through that freezing with these transitions. So trying to trip you up, having to change directions, but challenge your body to work through initiating that movement. So then the next one we'll do is a little bit more transition work as well. So I'm going to do a squat, and then I'm going to do a turn in place. And when you do the turn in place, we're going to do a half turn. And when you do the half turn in place, I want you to try to do it in 3 steps. So I'm going to turn around and face the other way, and I want to lead with my first foot, a big enough step to almost start pointing back this way. So I can do it in 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. And then once I turned, I'm going to do an uppercut, and then I'm going to turn back the other way and squat. 1, 2, 3, squat. 3-step turn. 1, 2, 3, uppercut. 1, 2, 3, squat. So we're working on the 2 moves, our squats and our uppercuts, but really we're working on that transition in between them. Can you do it with big enough steps so that you can do it in 3 steps with that turn? For all of these, feel free to do it holding on to something if you want a little bit more support. But we are just going to start with those 3 exercises. We'll cycle through them twice. I'm going to pull up my timer. We will do 1 minute on and 30 seconds off. So go ahead and stand up and get ready if you're not there yet. Get through this. Okay. So backwards walking with our cross body punch. Let's go ahead and get started. You can practice your 3-step turn when you turn around with your backward step too. Good job, halfway done. So I'm doing a backward step and coordinating a punch with my opposite hand. 10 seconds to go. And rest. So next we have our sit to stand with clockwise and then counterclockwise walk around the chair. Still have 15 seconds to get ready. Make sure on this one that you're all the way in front of your chair before you sit down. Still have 5 seconds. And let's begin. So I'm going to do a power up sit to stand and then take big steps to walk all the way around your chair. You guys look great. And then sit down, power up. And then I'm going to go the opposite way. Try to take really big steps as you're walking. Nice job, everybody. Twenty seconds to go. All right, and rest. 30 seconds to catch your breath. And then we have our squat with a 180-degree turn and then an uppercut, uppercut. With an emphasis on when you're doing that turn, I want you to target doing it in 3 steps. So really taking a big step with your first leg so that you can really initiate it. 1, 2, 3, and then facing the other direction. All right, let's begin. So we're gonna start with a squat, 3-step turn, 1, 2, 3, uppercut, uppercut, and then turn back the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, squat. 1, 2, 3, uppercut, uppercut. 1, 2, 3, squat. 1, 2, 3, uppercut, uppercut. 1, 2, 3, squat. 1, 2, 3, uppercut, uppercut. 1, 2, 3, squat. 1, 2, 3, uppercut, uppercut. You guys look great. 10 seconds to go. Okay, that one went fast. So 30 seconds to rest, and then we're starting back at the top with our backward step and coordinated punch. If you feel unstable doing this, you could always do it in place. Step backwards and punch, and then step together, and then do the other leg. And I could even do it standing in place where I have something to hold on to, where I can step backwards and punch and hang on to something. So that's a great option. But here we go. We got 1 more minute of this one. Trying to coordinate punching with the opposite arm as the leg that's stepping back. Ten seconds to go. Okay, that's our bell. So we are going back to our sit to stand with our counterclockwise and clockwise walk around the chair. 15 seconds to rest. Two more exercises and then we'll take a water break. Okay, here we go. So power up. Walk around the chair, taking big steps. And then go in the reverse direction. You can definitely hold on to the chair as you're doing it if you want a little bit of support. Halfway done. Good job, everybody. Keep taking big steps. and rest. 30 seconds to rest, and then we're doing our last exercise. That's our squat with our 3-step turn and the uppercut on both arms. So 10 seconds to get ready. And let's begin. Squat, turn in 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Uppercut, uppercut. 1, 2, 3. Squat. 1, 2, 3. Uppercut, uppercut. So working on turning in place with big steps. Halfway done. Fifteen seconds to go. Uppercut, uppercut, turn, and squat. Okay, that's 30 seconds. Or excuse me, that's our minute. So go ahead and grab some water, take a break. Why I was putting emphasis on the 3 steps is turning, especially in place or in a confined area, can really be a trigger for that freezing of gait that can happen with Parkinson's disease. And so we intentionally want to practice turning with bigger steps or turning with a fewer number of them, so that when you're turning around in your day-to-day life, you don't get stuck, you don't get frozen with short or small steps. So our next series is going to be on the ground. So I'm going to set up my mat, and then I'll just start demoing these, but you don't have to get down onto the ground yet. Feel free to take your water break. So the first one that we'll do, once we get started, again, you don't have to start yet. I'm going to get into a plank position or a modified plank position. And with my weight, I'm going to do a row. So I actually might turn a little bit more sideways so you can see this better. So I want, or excuse me, I'm not going to get into a plank. One knee is down, but I'm kicking my opposite leg out straight, and I'm either going to hover it in the air where my toes are off the ground, or I can set my toes down for a little bit of support. My left leg is the one that's out straight, and with my right arm, I'm going to do a row. So we'll do the full minute on this side, and then we'll switch. Bring the other leg out, either hovering or your toes are down, and your other arm will do the row. So with the row, your elbow is sliding straight back. Your elbow is going to stay bent, and I'm bringing my elbow straight up and straight down. Yep, you guys got it. The next exercise is going to be a clamshell. There's a couple different ways that you can do this. If you're seated in your chair, you're going to do a clamshell where you're pushing your legs out and back in. Or you may just want to do a clamshell laying on your side, where your top knee is lifting up and down. And then the most challenging version of this is getting up into a side plank so that my hips are off the ground, and I'm doing a plank I'm doing a clamshell while my hip is lifted. Okay? So if you're doing a clamshell on the ground, we'll stick to the same side for the full minute. Take breaks as you need to, and then, or maybe halfway through, we'll switch legs, because a minute's a long time to be holding that position. So we'll do 30 seconds on one side, and then you can roll over to your other side and do it on that side instead. And then our third exercise in this position is going to be in half kneeling. So coming up into this position, and I want you to use one of your weights and pass it under your leg, and then reach and pass it overhead. So you're going to pass it under and over. That can be modified into sitting by just passing the weight under your legs and sitting, and then passing the weight overhead if you're not getting down into the ground, okay? So great ways to modify all of these if you're not comfortable getting onto the ground. For the first one, if you're staying in your chair, the row, with your weights, you can do a row pinching your shoulder blades back together while you're sitting. This is your seated option, okay? But go ahead and get set up. We are going to do 2 rounds of those exercises. One minute on, 30 seconds off. The first one we're getting into this all 4 position, and my back leg is either extended back out where my toes are down, or my leg is up in the air. And I'm going to row with my opposite arm, okay? So 1 minute on the clock. Let's get started. So keep that leg either straight out or propped up. And you're doing a row, driving your elbow straight back. I may have a switch sides at 30 seconds. 5 seconds to go. And go ahead and switch legs, switch arms. This looks great. So hold your balance if you can. If you need to set your toe down on that back leg, that's fine too. Good, and rest. So we're getting set up for our clamshell. If you're seated, your clamshell is pushing your knees out and in. If you're on the ground, you can either do it in a plank position, or you can just lay on your side and lift. That's an okay option too. Working that hip muscle. 5 seconds to get set up. And begin. So we're going to do 30 seconds on one side, and then I'll let you know when we're halfway done, and we'll switch and do the other leg. Nice work. You guys look great. At any time, if you need to come down out of that side plank and lift up again, that's okay. So let's go ahead and switch sides. You can just roll over. I'm going to switch so that you can still see it a little bit easier. So we're up on the other, off the other hip, lifting the opposite knee. Good job, everybody. 10 seconds to go. Awesome. So we're going to come up into half kneeling now. You're going to have one leg propped up in front of you. And we're going to do that weighted pass under your leg. If you're seated, you're going to also pass the weight under your leg. 5 seconds to get ready. And let's begin. So pass underneath, and then up tall to reach overhead. We're going to pass it from hand to hand. And we won't switch legs. We'll stick with this same side. Halfway done. Good work, everybody. So we're working on balance, we're working on posture. Five seconds to go. And rest. Good job. 30-second rest break, and then we're starting back at the top. We're going back to the rows. If you're seated, you can do your row in this position here. Otherwise, we're doing them on all fours. I want to point out when I have my leg extended, I'm still keeping my back really flat. Try not to let yourself twist, but keep it really flat through here. Okay, and let's begin. I'll let you know when we're halfway through and we can switch what leg is kicked out and switch arms. Good work, everybody. Go ahead and switch sides. All right, 30-second rest break. Let's get set back up for the clams. So this can either be done seated where you're pushing your knees out and in, or you can do it in this side plank or just laying on your side. I'll let you know when we're halfway and we'll switch legs. 5 seconds to get set up. Okay, and let's begin. We're just about halfway. If you want to roll over and do the other side, switch sides. Awesome. 30 seconds to rest. We are going to get set up in that half kneeling position again. This time your opposite leg will be in front. If you're seated, you're going to do the same weighted pass, taking one of your weights and passing it under your leg and then overhead. About 10 seconds to get ready. Okay, so passing below and then passing up and overhead. Make sure that when you're passing overhead, you really bring your posture straight. You all look great. Halfway done. This is our last interval exercise today. Ten seconds to go. Excellent. Go ahead and grab some water, take a break. We are going to meet back on the ground here so that we can do our quadruped power moves or our power moves on all fours. So grab some water and then we're heading back down to our mats. if you are gonna be seated in your chair, these are gonna be the same moves that we started with at the beginning of our class today. And you can follow along as we're doing our ones on the ground with them seated. I'll give everyone one more minute and then we'll meet back down on the ground. I'm going to show one of my favorite modifications for all fours is if you have a hard time balancing, specifically with the power up when you're coming up and then having to control it coming back down. If you find that pretty hard, a great modification is to do it with your hands on a chair like this. Doing the power up and then coming back just to the chair. You don't have to go quite as far. If you have pain kneeling, try a pillow under your knees. You can also try this kneeling on your bed later if that's a little bit softer. It looks like most people are here, so I'm going to get started with our power move, power up that I mentioned. You're coming down and then power up. Your arms come back. I really push my hips forward so I can get a lot of extension. Let's do 12 of these. Count the months of the year out loud with me as we do these. So we'll come down. This is January. Down. February. Down. March. Down. April. Down. May. Down. June. Down. July. Down. August. Down. September. Down. October. Down. November. And December. So next we have our power rock. So for this one, I move my hands a little bit further up on the mat so that I can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. I'm sitting my hips back and then keep your hands in place and rock your hips forward. My elbows don't bend for this one, but I keep my elbows straight. If you're seated in your chair, I'll remind you of what it looks like. You're gonna reach to the side with one arm and then reach to the side with the other arm if you're seated, okay? So let's do 10 of these. Let's count up by 5s as we do them. So we'll rock back, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 2 more, 45, and 50. Good. Next, we have our power twist. So for this one, you're reaching one arm up towards the ceiling, and then you're tucking that arm through to thread the needle and push your shoulder down towards the ground. And then we'll switch and go to the other side, reaching up towards the ceiling and then threading the needle, tuck that arm through. If you're seated, a refresher, as you start with your arms wide, you're turning to clap, opening, and then turning to clap on the other side. So we have, I want to do 5 on each side or 10 in total. Why don't we count up by, well, let's count backwards by 3s as we do this. We'll start at 30 and end at 3. So reach up, and this will be 30. Switch sides, up, 27, up, 24, up, 21. Reach. 18. 15. 12. 9. 6. And 3. Good. And then our last power move is a power step. So I'm rocking back to build momentum, and then I'm trying to step 1 foot forward so that my foot is flat outside of my hands. And then I'm stepping back and stepping forward with the other leg. So for this one, if you're seated, this is where you're taking that exaggerated step out and stepping back in, stepping out and stepping back in, okay? So I want to do 10 on each side with this one. Let's count backwards from 20. Really trying to step a little bit further each time. This is a great one if you have a hard time stepping far enough forward. Prop your hands up on your chair and it will allow you to step a lot farther with that foot. If you find that with this step, it's hard to get further past the side of your leg. Okay? So let's get started. This will be 20. Rock back. 19. 18. 17. 16. 15. 14. 13. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Good work, everybody. We are done with our floor work today. Go ahead and come back up into standing. Grab some water, and then we're going to do a couple minutes of balance before we do our cool down. So grab some water, and then we're going to do a couple balance exercises behind your chair. These are great ones you can do at your kitchen counter or at your bathroom sink. I talk to people about making it part of your daily routine so that you do it while you're brushing your teeth or you do it while you're waiting for your coffee to brew or your tea to steep if you're me. So the first balance exercise we're going to start with is just getting with your feet together. So your feet are touching. And we're going to do this without holding on. And I'm going to have you turn your head side to side. If that feels really easy, if you feel really steady, you can try it with your eyes closed, but I want you to keep your hands hovering on your chair so that you can set your hands down to stabilize. So feet are together. We're going to turn our head side to side. And if that feels easy, try it with your eyes closed. I'm going to have us do 10 turns each way, moving your head slowly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, let's make it a little bit harder. So eyes will stay open for this one. I want you to stand heel to toe, or you can go halfway. I'll show you what I mean. If Heel to toe is the most challenging. But if this is too challenging, you can go halfway, where your feet are touching and one is slightly in front. So in that tandem or heel to toe position, or half heel to toe, you can hover your fingertips here, set them down, and instead of turning your head side to side, let's look up and down 10 times. So make sure that you're holding onto a chair, give yourself some support. Got this right here. And we're gonna look up and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's switch so that your other foot's in front. Make sure that if you're not holding on to something, you're right next to something so that you can keep your fingertips here or hovering right above it. And we'll do up and down again, but with the other foot in front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Last one we're going to do before we do our cool down is standing on one foot. Keep a couple fingertips here to hold on to, and we're going to do a 20-second count. So try to keep your posture tall as you balance on that foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Switch legs. 20 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Nice job, everybody. Those are just a couple ideas you can try throughout your day. Go ahead and have a seat, and we will do our seated cool down. So let's start with a shoulder stretch. I know some people are still making their way. For the shoulder stretch, we'll bring one arm across the body, and we're going to pull it close towards you. We'll hold this for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now let's stretch one leg out in front of you. Keep that knee straight and bend forward at your hips. We'll hold here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring one leg up across your knee, push down on your thigh, and lean forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Go ahead and bring your ear towards your shoulder. And we're going to use one hand to gently pull. This hand's going to tuck behind your back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Roll your head to the other side. Switch arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Reach for the back of the chair behind you. We'll do a twisting stretch here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, everybody, that's a wrap for today. Thanks for exercising with us this morning, and I will see everybody next week.
Thank you, Katie.